look so fine that I really want to make you mine.
Your deal there?
Yeah.
The vent, do you see how it has a tube?
Yeah.
And then the hole in the front for the tube down there?
Get your kicks. Now you don't need the money when you look like that, do you, honey?
Hey everyone, welcome back to CJRaceCars YouTube channel, and we're working on Mullet again. We're getting a ton of stuff done on Mullet really quick. Danny's actually working on a Cleetus special, which is what we had to do to Eagle to make Cleetus fit Eagle. We're doing the same thing to Mullet's firewall. So Danny's working on that. Taylor's working on the titanium fuel cell mount. Ben is working on drawing the fuel cell in CAD so we can get that laser cut bent welded together. And then Danny's gonna mount the adjustable titanium pedal kit. So by the end of this video, we're gonna have a lot of stuff done.
I said, are you gonna be my girl?
Oh, these are really nice. Are these turbos going on Mullet?
No, Mullet already has turbos. But, as you know, we have our Cream Puff plus $10,000 cash giveaway going on right now. And if you buy merch this week only, we're gonna throw both these turbos in one random order. So not only do you have a chance to win Cream Puff and $10,000, but someone is getting two FIS 6973 CJRC turbos. Make sure you go to CJRaceCars.com, get your merch. Every $5 gets you one entry, and if you've already bought something, that's okay, because we've added a bunch of stuff to the website, including ladies t-shirts, a bunch of new men's designs, and some new stickers. Make sure to go to CJRaceCars.com, get your merch, get entered in a Cream Puff plus $10,000 giveaway, get your chance at winning two turbos. Let's get back to Mullet.
Where we've always mounted them.
Right, yeah, it makes sense.
But I can get the master cylinder jig over here, and
You can mount that now, really.
I can start doing that now.
And then once
this
the
here,
master's
this
mounted-
here, we can do whatever we want to do with it,
I think it's probably close to there.
and it's set where now I got that tube the right length,
Yep.
where there's zero play in it. So when he welds it, there will wind up being a little tiny bit of play because it'll shrink, but still not sloppy.
Yeah. I want to show the two different kinds of gas pedals we got, Andrew, with two different options. I don't know if you can see from there or not, but. So this is our normal gas pedal that we use in pretty much every car we build, Pro Mod or regular car, whatever. It's a cable operated pedal. So basically the cable hooks to here, hooks to the chassis, you hit the gas, the cable pulls the throttle open. But it pivots here, right? So your foot's in here, it pivots here, and I like these a lot myself. But considering Cleetus is gonna drive this thing on the street, I think our normal style hanging pedal is going to be a lot more comfortable and give him a lot more room. See, this is a hanging pedal. It hangs up here and it pivots there. So his foot could just kind of rest on the floor. It doesn't actually have to like be on the entire pedal the entire time. I think this is going to help a lot.
This would work if he wasn't 6'4". If he was 5'8", 5'9", then we could have this back to where it would work. And it would be okay, but we got to have all the leg room we can get, so this is going to be the better option.
Even that, though, I think that's not as comfortable as this, because that dictates your entire foot position.
This is true.
Your whole,
yeah.
This you could just lazily just kind of touch it.
Nothing worse than having your ankle too far down.
That's a lot. That would be a lot. Like, that's one thing for a 4 or 5 second pass, and you don't have to play with the throttle going down the road and hold it 60 miles an hour. This right here, you can just kind of drive it like a normal.
That's okay for a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Where you got the pedal like this,
well,
or the wheelies even. You're sitting way up here where your foot's just naturally doing this like this. But if your foot's back like you said, that's really uncomfortable to be trying to work it.
Yeah. It's basically an on and off pedal, not a we're cruising down the highway for 300 miles per hour. So we're going to put this style pedal in here. Good thing about this, again, a lot easier to drive and gives them a lot more room. We'll be able to put that here. His foot can kind of lay around wherever it wants. Gives us more room for the column. Just a better deal for a driver, I think. For a daily driver, this is the way to go. We
just got to get fancy on the linkage.
Fancy on the linkage.
The linkage is going to be a work of engineering.
I have faith in Danny. He's going to make it happen.
I can make it happen. I'm just trying to make it happen within the confines of what we have here.
I want to get your kicks. Now you don't need the money when you look like that, do you, honey? Big black boots, a long
Do we have an idea of where we're going to be putting the fuel cell in the car?
It'll actually sit above the forks. There will be 8 inches from the edge of this tube to the forward side of the cage that we're going to put around it, and then it'll sit, I don't know, probably about here, depth wise, roughly 8 gallons. So it should be plenty of fuel for what he wants to do.
Now we have to obviously make a bracket to fit the actual cell itself first, right?
Yeah, so I'll have three tubes that come around and catch the front side. We'll make a pan that the fuel cell sits in, and then we'll make a cage that comes up and over and then across the back to hold it down in place.
What's that?
We're working on what's that? That's comment it below what you think that is. That's going to be probably the craziest thing we've ever built here, but most people probably won't know what it is yet.
No, definitely.
Because it doesn't show much. What do you guys think that is? What do you think that is, Andrew?
That's got to be a drive shafting. I can't. Wait, but there's a... I'm lost.
It's going to be wild. Just know that. But Ben's over here. He does all our 3D scanning, our designing, and stuff that's way over my head. That's what Ben does here. That's why... Actually, we're going to get Ben to start calling him Benjamin. Because Benjamin sounds more professional. He's so professional, we got to call him Benjamin.
He's been trying to get me on that for a while now.
Yeah, Benjamin. But anyways, Benjamin is working on designing the fuel cell for Mullet. Because now that we have a laser here and a press brake, we can make everything in-house and make it way more simple than trying to make it out of cardboard and draw with a marker and cut it out by hand. So that's what Ben's working on. That's what Benjamin is working on.
Yes, it'll be about 7.4 gallons, and as he said, we'll fabricate it fully in-house, and this should automate the process, which should really be able to crank this out nicely.
No, I know that the normally we do fuel cells at probably what, 8 gallons? Is there a reason you decided to go a little smaller?
It depends on what they're for, but 7.5, 8, that's more than you'll ever use. Honestly, Mullet will probably never use more than like 3.5 in a run. You want to make sure if he's in a staging duel or it sloshes, he doesn't, end up having an issue. So that's why we go there. He'll also design some baffles inside of there, a vent tube inside of there, where the outlet is that'll feed the fuel pump. So all that'll be done. He's making our life a lot simpler than it used to be.
We have everything but the baffles and the tube bend in it right now, but all the sheet metal parts are ready to go, and so then we can cut them and weld them up. That's where we're putting it? Okay. And then where are we putting the master cell? Asking for myself.
In this general vicinity right there.
As long as it doesn't touch this.
Oh, it doesn't what?
Touch this?
No, it won't touch it.
Okay.
Jamie's is back there.
Okay.
And I can move it away far enough that it won't touch it. But I can't move this forward anymore without this getting close to this.
Right.
But this is 90 right now.
Okay.
So,
It's gonna move when I tag it.
huh?
So it's gonna move when I tag it.
You can't do that.
You need to hold it.
It's got a magnet. Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
I mean, if you tack it there, it's going to move out. Tack it back there. I don't know. You just tack it and I'll smack it with a freaking hammer.
Do ya?
$100. Hey!
In the top of Cameron's toolbox, all the way up against the front edge, where you wouldn't see it if you just looked in there.
Where's your angle finder? There it is.
$89.5, and pull the bottom out and see if it goes and flips the arrow. Nope. $89.6. That's close enough.
What'd you find, Denny?
part for the lathe. I mean, the end mill that I was looking for the other day that nobody seemed to know where it went.
What did you found?
What is that? After going hold the end mill, couldn't find none of it.
That bracket holds the line lock, which I'm not sure exactly. Oh, look, it's right here. TBM line lock to go with our TBM brakes on Mullet, TBM everything. What this does is the line from the master cylinder for the front brakes goes into the line lock, comes out of here, goes to the front brakes. And when you're getting ready to do a burnout, you build some brake pressure, you hit the line lock button, and that holds only the front brake pressure. You can let off the brake, and then the back brakes are free. Do a burnout without the car moving, and then you let off the line lock or roll out of the burnout. So that's what this is for. Or you do street burnouts and donuts and all kinds of other silly stuff that Cleetus will probably do with it, but its real purpose is to do burnouts before you pass.
So then, Taylor, where are we gonna mount the master cylinder?
Master cylinder will go somewhere in this general location.
Also, still in the same.
Yeah, roughly the same spot. Could be forwards, could be back a little more.
What's that? Master cylinder?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be in or out.
Because we were looking at that bracket. I was looking at that bracket, Danny, and I saw that it was very tiny for a master cylinder, but it wasn't for that. It was actually
Oh,
for
no.
yeah.
Master cylinder brackets is bigger. Yeah.
Do you have hardware? Did you ever find the other one?
Josh might know where that it's at because Josh took off the old one and put on the new one.
See, that looks like a master.
Yeah,
That can hold a
that's
master
master cylinder bracket.
I wasn't sure.
This thing is like,
This is nowhere near completion, too. So this is nowhere near completion either, though. This still has to be bent.
oh, it's got to be bent and fit, yeah.
Just put the tube adapters together.
No, one's a rod end, and the other one would be.
Well, yeah, but if you put the tube adapters together.
I could get it close with a female rod end. Real close.
Oh, yeah.
3/8 female rod end.
I don't think.
But I don't know if I like that.
No, I'd rather have a
I'd rather have a little something to
adjust
yeah.
a little.
Well, let me go get her. Yeah, tube adapter and.
Looks good. What are you thinking so far?
Getting there. Yeah, he's got the master cylinder jigged up where we need it. He's got to go forward a little bit. He's got to build the push rod from the master cylinder to our tabs, and we'll mount the master cylinder, and we'll have brakes. Kind of. We still got to do brake lines, but we'll kind of sort of have some.
Danny gets so
Brakes.
excited about his brake lines, man.
Oh man, when
He's
Danny
so
does
excited.
his brake lines. Yeah, he gets. I think he does his hair and everything when he comes in. He like. Right before he starts the day, when he's doing brake lines, he slicks that thing back one time, and he just gets after it.
5/8.
At least 5/8. Yeah, I think
5/8 will help us.
Yeah,
I'll whip one of them up.
would make me feel better.
Okay. But that's about height wise. That's because it's when it goes forward, this is going to raise up a little.
Yeah.
But it's made to do that.
Yeah. No, that's good. I like it.
Okay.
So this is pretty much the assembly, Danny.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We've got it as far forward as we can possibly get it. And now we're just in the process of lining up the master cylinder height-wise, back and forth, side to side, all three ways to get it to where it's as close in as we can get it without interfering with anything, as high up as it needs to be to keep this fairly level. It will change as it goes in a little bit, but it's made to do that. And then we're going to wind up putting a small tube, I think, from here down to the frame rail to weld this bracket to. And then out here, of course, we have two tubes that always go down like this to the chassis, which locate it so when this is all said and done, you could lift the car with that and it wouldn't go anywhere. Now, maybe not literally, but it's strong.
Danny, I don't know how you do it.
sometimes people have a hard time if they don't, even I do, if I'm trying to square something up on the car and I have no way to really measure anything off the car to see if it's square. What I'll do is, like on this jig, we know this plate is dead friggin' square to anything running this way. It's exactly 90. So if I, like this bracket right here, I have no way of knowing other than an eyeball if this thing is straight this way or this way, and I want it to be straight. So what I do is, we have these magnets. You don't have to have a magnet. If you had something, you could just like a square. You take my square and you could turn it around, put it in here, go back over here, take a reading on your tape, which is just not even a 64th under an inch and a half, and then just pull it out to the far edge of this, and it's reading about the same thing. So now you know you have this pretty flat, and squareness to the chassis and everything else. It's good running this way. I'm always squaring things and measuring things and all that off of using a square and this magnet, because it works great. Like if you're trying to square up something sideways in the chassis, like transmission mount, you want to make it dead center. These are round tubes. You know, you can't just eyeball where the thing starts. So you take a square and you just run it right up to the frame. Do the same thing on the other side, and then just measure between this edge and the inside edge over there, and you'll get an exact measurement how wide this is, and then you can just divide by 2 and find your center of a cross member.
Taylor and Ben are not playing around with this fuel cell.
It needs more. Needs more bend.
So this is the CAD design you were working on earlier last week, finished up pretty much for the fuel cell.
Yeah, we had a few small modifications, but everything aligned to the instructions pretty well overall. We're getting in the baffling, and we're getting the tube bent for it now for the breather tube. We might have a little play though from if you want to test it on the baffles. Because remember the top, you have a little space.
I don't know if this has enough weight.
It's close to 90.
Yeah, it's close to 90.
But see, what happened was I added material. You can't get it in this hole because I added material until it's cut.
Wait a minute. You mean that is supposed to go through both of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And once I get a lid, I can roll it back over.
Taylor, looks like you have a plan for the fuel cell.
Ish. Plan-ish. Still waiting on a lid, or a cap, or whatever you like to call it, to put on top so that we know how far this vent tube can actually be from the front side of that hole. So we don't want it to interfere with the threads on the cap, but we do want it to be almost flush with the cap. That way it allows air in, but doesn't allow fuel out as the car leaves the line.
Taylor, is there any reason that you wanted the ends to be more open? Figure it's because of you had more room to weld or deposit metal?
Better penetration.
Okay.
The outside corner will allow better penetration than it would if you flushed the plates together.
Which design did you have it as before?
I originally had it more flush. I wasn't necessarily thinking about that aspect of it, but after we talked it over, he made the necessary modifications. But for future designs, I'll definitely be including that in the sheet metal assembly to make sure the welds are like that, so we can have a stronger, more secure part.
I said, are you gonna be my girl?
Hey, it's so close. You can press that through. Just smush that down.
What happened?
Well, the original one came out and went down. It didn't go below the frame, but it's down here. That don't need to be down there. So come out here. Straight, higher, less ground, more ground clearance, less chance of something hitting it.
You love brake lines, don't you, Dan?
Well, I like to have them when they're right. I just didn't, I don't know why I didn't do it that way. It just, I looked at it this morning and I go, that's not good. So it didn't take me but 15 minutes to make the thing. And it's only like a foot of tubing.
Also looks like we have the steering column pretty much finished up.
Probably. It's not welded or nothing yet, but it's ready for Cameron's final inspection.
Yeah.
Rotate it till it like wants to do something.
Beautiful.
It's just a little bit long for that thing.
Oh yeah, for the
Yeah,
you got to use the NAS bolt for.
yeah,
That's just
I
remarkable.
guess that'll do it.
Danny, we did that bottom line. Looks really good.
Yeah, the bottom line looks really good. Danny's still practicing these brake lines, so it takes him a few tries. He's new. He'll get the hang of it though. He'll get the hang of it.
Version 1.0 looked really nice until I looked at it this morning and realized I had a design flaw. What I had was originally just come out of the line lock and this loop went down and then it went up and then in. Well, it still was above this frame rail, but it was down here. And I thought that's not maybe a good idea when all I gotta do is turn it sideways and come across. So I just remade the line real quick. It didn't take much work. And now this bend is still the same. It's just instead of it being like this, it's laying like this. So that raised the line up, gives you more clearance for anything that might want to be a problem. And it'll also line up better when this line comes out of here. I can come out of there and follow along with this and then go up in here for the rear line. Just one of those things that I looked at originally when I made it and I didn't think about it. And then I looked at it and I said, no.
I told Danny yesterday, one time when we have nothing going on, which probably will never happen, I'm gonna pay Danny for the whole week to just make random brake lines that I can hang on my wall in my house. I'm really gonna do that. Some people like art. I just want Danny's brake lines on my wall in my house. It's true.
Like you said, I doubt we'll ever have time for that.
We're gonna do it. He's gonna come in on a Sunday to do it 1 week, just to. But as you see, we got a lot of stuff done. He's got pretty much all the steering done. And actually the steering on this car ended up being really easy compared to our normal cars, like a blower car, nitrous car, and even Eagle with the turbos back here. We usually have 4 U-joints and we have to have a steering shaft support and a bunch of other stuff. This steering shaft ended up being really easy because we went forward with the headers and the turbos are up front. So Danny got really lucky with that. That wasn't as hard as Eagle or the rest of the cars that we do. The big thing I want to talk about is that obviously to fit Cleetus in these cars is tough. And a few things we have to do to make them fit in the car is the adjustable pedals, and we have to bend this tube out for the firewall to get the pedals as far forward as we can. We notch the seat through the frame like we did on Eagle and in this car. And one of the biggest things that actually we only designed because of Cleetus was our adjustable column. Eagle was the first car to ever get one of our adjustable columns. We were like 90% done with the chassis and we were scratching our heads, trying a bunch of different stuff to make adjustable columns, and we came up with this unit here. And this is, in my opinion, the best adjustable column available, especially for a race car.
It works flawless.
It works great. You can, there's a few out there that have a few holes and you can move it up and down and then it moves the shaft in the bottom and a bunch of other stuff. But the way we designed this, where this mounts, nothing from here down moves, and you can move the top of the steering wheel 2 feet up, 2 feet down. You can put it on the floor and a roof and it won't change anything. So we designed this because of Cleetus, and a lot of people have really liked them since, and a lot of shops use them. So I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we had to fit Cleetus in a car, and we knew Cleetus would be driving, jack stand might be driving, so we needed something that could move and didn't just fit one driver, and you didn't have to cut a bunch of stuff out to fit the next driver. So we got that almost done. The only thing he's got to do is mount the top section, which we're going to do here in a little bit. The pedals are done, except for the gas pedal, which will probably mount off the side of either steering column or right up here. We're not 100% sure on that. And then we got the pedals, steering, and brake stuff just about wrapped up. A lot of little details have come together really quick on Mullet. And everybody's been wanting these updates, and we're really getting some stuff knocked out.
Take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. really wanna make you mine. 4, 5, 6, come on and get your kicks. Now you don't need the money when you look like that, do you, honey? Big black boots, long brown hair. She's so sweet with her get back stare. Well, I could see you home with me, but you were with another man, yeah. I know we ain't got much to say before I let you get away.
All right, well, that's gonna do it for today's episode. You see, Taylor got the fuel cell all tacked up and sitting where it needs to be. Danny got the pedals done, like we talked about. All the adjustable pedals are in. We got the master cylinder in, we got the line lock in, and we even started mounting the steering column and got the steering shaft done. So we got a lot done in just a few days. So we're making really good progress on Mullet, and we're gonna continue to make progress on Mullet. The next time you see Mullet, we'll probably have the turbo kit completely done. The charge pipes, the hot side, blow-off valves, and wastegates. And before you know it, we're gonna be swapping the body and have this thing on the ground. But that's gonna do it for today's episode. If you haven't already, go over to CJRaceCars.com, get your merch, get entered into the Cream Puff and $10,000 cash giveaway. Plus, this week, you may even get a turbo in your order. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.